Hey everybody, how's it going? Today I'm going to be talking about the biopic King Richard, starring Will Smith, Saniyya Sidney, Demi Singleton, and Jon Bernthal. It follows Richard Williams' journey alongside his two daughters, Venus and Serena, on their way to becoming some of the best tennis players of all time. First of all, I'd like to talk about performances. Will Smith is fantastic in King Richard. He did a lot of things to prepare for this role. He gained 20 pounds for this role, which was actually addressed in a YouTube series that he did recently called Best Shape of My Life, which I recommend watching, by the way. It was a very good documentary series. But he really committed to this role. After watching archival footage of Richard Williams, Will Smith really emulated that voice really well, and he really got into this character. It's really unlike anything we've seen Will Smith do before. He was fantastic in this movie. He had a depth to his character that you very rarely see on screen, and it was great to see. Saniyya Sidney also gives a really good performance as Venus Williams to this movie. She gives a really fresh performance compared to what we regularly see on screen. Not only does she show off some really good acting chops in her own right, she also really emulates Venus Williams very well after watching archival footage that were recreated for King Richard. She was very entertaining, very good in this movie. But everybody is good in King Richard. There's really no one who I would say that I didn't like in King Richard. Everybody is good. Those are just some people that stood out to me when I was watching. The filmmakers really did a great job of making this a great story. This is less beefy than a lot of biopics you see. Even though it's a 2-hour and 20-minute movie, personally I feel like it never got boring. It didn't get into the meandering territory that a lot of biopics do, where it kind of goes into details you really didn't need to know. I felt like this movie kept that at a minimum. Most biopics have this issue. This movie does have it at times, where it feels a little bit like we could have just pulled that scene or made it shorter, make it more like a 2-hour 10 runtime, but overall I feel like it uses its time really well, and it's a really well told story. There were a few times in King Richard where I felt like they were setting up something, which never really came to pass, but these were really minor issues. They didn't really detract from my overall experience, but in retrospect, those were some minor issues with the movie. The movie does a great job of showing the environment that the Williams grew up in, and how they sort of grew throughout the story. You really get a sense for how they lived and how that developed throughout their journey. And you really understand why Richard Williams acts the way he does. It really adds a lot of depth to what, as far as I know, is often portrayed as a very stoic figure, which is very well aided by Will Smith's awesome performance in this movie. Going into this, I really didn't know basically anything about this story. I'd heard the names, but I hadn't really learned anything more than that, and so it was really great to be able to step into this world and learn it from a more new and fresh perspective, and it was really great to see their journey. I didn't know a ton about it going into it, and so it was really amazing to learn about that, especially because the movie is really good, and so it made it really interesting to go in with fresh eyes to see this story. The characters in this movie are just very textured, they're very detailed. This is something that happens a lot in biopics because you can talk to the real people, but this movie does that a lot better than most biopics I've seen. You really feel there's a past, a history that's aided by the acting and the writing, but the characters have a depth and a richness to them that you very rarely see on screen, even in biopics. Overall, I personally think this is a fantastic movie. I'm gonna give King Richard a 3.5. So what did you think of King Richard? Let me know in the comment section down below. This movie is currently streaming on HBO Max and in theaters. I recommend going to see it in theaters, supporting the theaters, keeping the theaters in business. But yeah, King Richard really surprised me. I thought it was gonna be good. It was even better than I thought it would be. Anyway, I've got more reviews coming out soon. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe down below to see more reviews. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.